I want to talk to you about windows. There are many windows on ourselves through which the reflection of who we are changes. Now, some years ago, my windows shattered. I was left alone, isolated, and powerless. And after months of not being able to look at myself in windows and mirrors, I fractured. I felt worthless and did not know how I would be able to survive, to support myself, or to be anything but a burden. So I decided to break my last window. I used my computer to record messages to my friends, my sons, and my fellow PhD students. Each recording providing a different window to how I felt. Each one a different fragment of my desperation and feelings of worthlessness. And with each recording, I felt freer. And then I came to my last window. The window within the building I'd decided to leave from, on the highest floor. But I couldn't open the window. And I mean literally, I could not open the window. It had security locks on it. So I tried to smash the window and it fought back. As the chair bounced off it, I bounced off the floor and I sat on the floor, defeated yet again by a window. And my phone rang. A video call from my eldest son, which opened a new window to his face, to his smile. And I changed my mind. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. So mine isn't a finished piece. I was thinking about making it into a poem or a song, I'm not sure. But anyway, unpicked, naked. Two special children, less time, diagnoses, downpour of medical letters, immobile, trapped. Four walls keep me from the beauty of my geographical escape. Ideations, less time, friendless, professionless, moneyless, dependent. Not even a tent for my inner sanctum. My musings are chocolate freedom.
Yeah, I want to share a situation with you when I realized that actually society made me mentally ill, because I was born in severe poverty, and all my life I've been there. This time it's not so really bad. I'm improving myself by the facilities, the township where I live in. I use that to make myself better. But yeah, that time I was so numb. I feel left out, and I thought there had to be a change in my life. So I shut myself down and went away from people and started with my own life, because people made me sick. And for 14 years I was sick, and now I'm healing, and everything is going a little bit better day by day. And I want to give everything what I've learned from my past and still live in. I want to give that back to people, the positive vibes I'm feeling now. And it wasn't easy. It was really hard. But out of every bad situation, negative situation, you can make a positive situation. That's my story.
Looking back on a period of time when I'd say sort of money and mental health was at its worst, I'd stopped working. I had a full-time job as a support worker in the homeless community. So coming from a perspective where I thought I knew the benefits system inside out, as my job was to maximise other people's benefits, I couldn't have been more wrong. I had desperately trying. The most important thing for me was to keep my house. I owned my house with a mortgage, and I was on contribution-based benefits, which for people who don't know means that I've paid national insurance. And at that time, a decade ago, there was all these different schemes out there where you could try and access help, different schemes to help pay the mortgage. I was literally sent from pillar to post. You've got too much equity, you've not got enough equity. you haven't bought your house before, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And during this time, I was recovering from a suicide attempt as well. It was the most anger and frustrating, I think, period of time that I've ever been in. But and actually, in the end, I forgot to say on the first story, in the end, I actually gave up. I've paid my mortgage ever since. I've never received housing benefit or anything. It was just too great greater battle to have had. But the good news is that last year I took a claim against the DWP for having kept me on this contribution-based benefit when they should have really assessed me for an income-based at some point during that decade. And I actually won a significant amount of money against my claim against them, but that took a decade. So yeah, that's me.
Group. Augusto.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Oh, there is a little illustration for the. I wrote actually 2 little poems, one that doesn't rhyme at all, and the other one that has little rhymes. I tried to. So for the first one, that's the little illustration. So is I am a bud, a 52 years old bud. I grow and grow until the scissors of mental illness cut me back and almost always gone. Money, relationships, dreams. And again, I am a bud, a 52 years old bud. So many opportunities lost, so many lifetimes lived. Still a bud, a wiser, older, experienced, 52 years old bud. So that's the one. And the other one is about something that has happened in the past. So that one rhymes. So now I have a family, a wife, a house, a cat, a colorful computer mat. Then I get high, my mind reaches the sky. My house, wife, cat, even the computer mat, lost, gone. I keep my personality no less, even as a homeless.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, so this is just a continuation of the little rhyme that I put together earlier. So I'm hungry and angry, so depressed, full of grief. Got to eat another can of bully beef. I never have enough money. Staring through the fence, the other side is sunny. My side is grey and it's not funny. No matter what I say, I feel trapped. With shame and embarrassment, life is crap, or shite, as the Scottish call it. Like standing in a supermarket line with an empty wallet.
Sorry, I was muted. Mine is also just also a continuation of the previous rhyme. Standing in the supermarket, hiding my calculator from view, hoping no one can feel my despair as I get closer to the queue. An empty wallet, what a mess. Are we all standing here feeling the same stress? Drowning in the damage, full of shame and self-doubt. It's hard to stay sane and find your voice when all you want to do is shout. Stuck in the hellscape of universal credit, zapped of all creativity, drowning, suffocated by all of this, but above all else, the lack of dignity. I'm overwhelmed and might feel shite, but I'm moved and motivated by all of your stories to imagine and fight for a better future, one without the fucking Tories. Sorry for the swearing.
This time you can't get me for drinking. So in my late 40s, I developed a gum disease, which again is not covered here in Ontario, Canada. So top teeth come out. As I do go to get fitted, the denturist throws dental supplies at me and calls me uneducated, as I've been on the system since I was 10. There was never any dentist coverage through that time. I go on and I feel the need. I go back and tell them it was about income. It was not, welfare is not generational. It's systematic. It's a system at the time. I have a busted tooth now and still hesitate to go, as as I can hide my income level to the outside world, but not when I come to my personal health, doctors, dentists, no secrets there. I might have missed out a bit there, but it's just about having the secrets come out with my income that I can't hide when it comes to them.
I'm 10 years old and I really, really love dancing. I keep asking my parents if I could have dancing lessons. And after a while, avoiding the question, the answer was no, we cannot afford that. I was very disappointed, but that wasn't the worst thing. The worst thing was that I felt there was like an impenetrable fence between what I wanted and what I could do. That money determined what my life would be like. This moment may seem small, but it has shaped my life for years. It felt definite, as if there was no way out. I felt trapped. I felt unworthy. I felt fear. I went to a school 2 levels below my ability because it was cheaper, destined to follow my parents who worked a lot of hours in shitty paid jobs, always worrying about money. But I'm stubborn and decided never to be short of money. I worked hard, got promoted a couple of times, and well, we say it in Holland, I could swim in the money I earned. But I was very unhappy, burned out even. I worked so hard to have the money, and now I was trapped in another way. I had to keep the job I hated to keep the money, or give up my job and be poor again. What should I do?
Okay, so
thanks so much.
Reducing the compounded layers of traumatic experiences into 1 or 2 words is impossible. It somehow feels more stifling than saying nothing at all. I've tried to tell people my story. People say they want to hear. Frequently, they don't really. They say one thing and do something else. I've put pen to paper many times to challenge the injustice. It is met with hollow affirmations of, we hear you and we understand. Yet it feels like nothing has been heard and no one understands.
I was quite inspired by the discussion about the different dialects, and so I apologise. I've written this in Scots, so I apologise if I'll put it in the chat if people don't really understand it, because it was just the words, and I was quite just hearing all your stories. I was quite inspired as well. So I've no felt a bit of nothing lately, nor love or peace to be worth a halfpenny, nor fuck all for the man that created me, probably regretting the day he made me. Sick and tired and emotionally drained, powerless, frustrated, excluded, pained. My 20s disappeared afore my eyes, this creeping paralysis, which I despise. Tried to gain a hon for the welfare state, filled out other forms in the hope that they backdate the payments which would maybe lift me from my slumber and reignite my love for life, that drive, that thunder. 22, paralysed, no a penny to my name, friends fading away, nae texts, fancy a game? For it's the hope that drives us to create a fairer society. The austerity, the injustice, didn't bring as much hilarity. More introduce UBI, just watch us excel and prosper. With a bit of cash behind us, we'll no longer feel an imposter.
Okay, yes. I was a mature student and I was crashing. I was feeling just so strange and I just didn't know what to do, which way to turn. I was out of my mind with worry about money as well. The only option was to claim benefits, but I felt labelled, I felt ashamed, I felt worthless. Whatever encouraging comments some supportive people make, that's not how you're seen in society as a whole. My world was in pieces. How could I even find the words to say anything, let alone contest how I was seen, and I'm still seen?
I think it might be a bit too long, but anyway, here goes. I'm starting it with a quote that you probably know by Mary Oliver. Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Well, like everyone, I have my hopes, dreams, plans and aspirations. And then stuff happened. It got in the way. I didn't squander my time. The stuff turned living into existing. existing, not living, but merely surviving, battered by circumstances beyond my control. Control, like feet slipping on weed-coated stones as the fast-moving river rushes round my knees, threatening to topple my precarious balance as the adrenaline surges, perilous fear paralyzes me. Well, without realizing it, I placed my trust where there were lies, not truths, because blood proved thinner than water, or so I thought. So now I find myself keening in the wilderness of limbo land, long years of when this happens, then I can, until the hopes and dreams are replaced by sadness and resentment and powerlessness, and by stress and panic. I've got a life, lived full of years, yet half-lived, and a future of uncertainty to follow. So what can bring a change for me? To banish fear and sadness and loss? Well, and give me security and opportunity. Give me back my self-respect and my self-confidence and the freedom to live with joy. We as a society, me as an individual, I count too. I'm not a statistic. Ask me what I need, not gold and jewels and riches, but for you to hear my voice and listen to my story, and to grant me the sufficiency to reclaim my one wild and precious life.
Poetry. But I just want to say how difficult it is to articulate when you have layer upon layer upon layer of different traumas and injustice in your life, to try and put that into some sort of format. I want to say, as I started writing, the first thing that sprang to mind was a stag's head on the wall of a council building where I'd been called over a complaint that I'd made about accessing social care, mental health care. And I remember thinking, when I saw this stag's head, that I felt like that they wanted a piece of me on this wall. And the look on these people, the hatred and the feeling of powerlessness, the feeling of feeling swallowed up, feeling that you're just insignificant, and then going into this meeting and being referred to as a vexatious cripple, and feeling that everything was against me, and then the series of events that all connect with one another, where you feel that you've been thrown out like a bag of rubbish. For example, growing up through the care system, being discharged to the street, being homeless, and then being treated as if everything is your fault. Somehow you're defective, you don't have the skills, you're a skill deficit, you are the reason why bad things have happened to you in life. And then all the endless fighting, an army of one person trying to do it all, not being listened to, not being believed, being called a liar the whole time, even having your life experiences that you are the expert in being told that we don't believe you, these can't be true, these aren't real. And then having to try and find from the depths of your, to think about a time when there's so many times that I could use as an example, and they're all, fighting with one another to be heard, and then thinking, well, I won't let any of you be heard because it won't give you justice. It'd take too long to explain what the situation is. You'll look at people's faces, you'll tell you the story, and people will walk off or make a cup of tea, and nobody will be interested. And then your voice will trail off, and you'll think, why did I even try and get across this? It's better to be quiet. It's better to say nothing. And it becomes something that it's like you have to lock everything in compartments, in drawers, and then the things, if you open that drawer just a little bit and it comes out, you find that it's like you can't shut the drawer back, because it's like you've let it all out, and there's just too much that you don't know where to start. It's like one fighting with another, one injustice with another, and the common theme out of all of these injustices is never, ever, ever getting any kind of never an outcome that's helpful or favorable. It always ends in repeated injustice and trauma, and that feeling of everything is against you and you have nobody who's going to help you, and there's no way of ever putting things right, and you just run out of energy, and you just become that you fought so hard and for so long that there's nothing left of you, and you become a shell and you don't even know who you are. So that's just briefly some of what I was going to say.